This idea, this video is for Craig Mancool, who sounds like he's having one hell of a bad day. So he contacted me and asked me to get him the size of these nuts because he has gotten an 800 something stuck in the snow. One assumes all twisted up because it says it's puked a torque rod. He didn't say whether it was the bottom or the top, but what I'm going to tell him really doesn't change much. That nut, by the way, appears to be 2¼ inches. I do not believe you're going to be able to unscrew that with, laying on your back in the snow with a big wrench. I just don't see it, and I don't see you getting the pin out without heat and, possibly removing the wheels and massive amounts of cursing and violence. Maybe they'll come out. I just don't see it. So here's my only thought and idea for you. I don't know which torque rod, I don't know which end, but the net result is going to be about the same for all of them. What ends up happening, of course, is that your axles are going to come together. He can't apply a lot of torque to the drivetrain because his axle is twisting up. So the truck is not only immobilized because the duals have come together, but it's immobilized because if he puts too much power to it, he's just going to rip everything to shreds. So this is what I would do if it's me, and I have thought about this. What would I do if I lost a torque rod when I was giving the tours? So I've put some thought and effort into this. First, I still don't believe you're going to get it apart. I really don't. I think you're going to need to have heat and a jack to lift your wrench on, and a fair bit of violence. First thing you're going to want to do, I think, is wrap a chain around whatever pin it is. And you have these bottom ones, and you have the two on the top, or whatever pin it is. So let's say that this is the one that came loose. I'm going to wrap a chain around there, and I'm going to take a chain from that point back somewhere over there. I will probably actually grab the other torque rod, the other dog bone. And then I'm going to take a chain and I'm going to go forward somewhere really strong. And I don't know where exactly that would be. I might even go all the way up to the front axle or the front spring perches, but somewhere nice and strong. So you're going to take and put a come along or a ratchet strap or even chain binders, and you're going to wrench this axle more or less back into place. So you don't have to be perfect to recover, but more or less back into place. So imagine this torque rod is hanging down and you get it more or less where it needs to be. That chain is then going to be locked in place. You're going to use chain binders, one on either side, and you're going to lock it to that dog bone and you're going to lock it to whatever forward point. That's going to stop your axle from going forward and backwards. That's really all you need. There's still going to be enough flexibility in that chain to allow your axles to go up and down. I'm not saying you can drive highway speeds, but I do think that would get you out of your problems. And I believe that can be done with every single one of these dog bones. And, some decent, high quality, like 3/8 chain. Some nice binder chain. Nice strong binder chain. And I think that you could do that. And you're basically just chaining the axle. You're going to put strain forward and strain backwards, and you're essentially chaining the axle in place like you've chained down a piece of equipment on a trailer so that it can't move forward and back. And I believe that will be your best bet to get your girl home. I really don't know what else is going to be an option for you. I just don't see you being able to get these things apart laying on your back in the snow. I just don't. I mean, I don't know your level of determination and your level of tools, but I really just don't. I'm not even sure you can get it apart. I'll speak for myself. I'm not even sure I could get it apart laying on my back in the snow, let alone get all parts and pieces loose. So if it was a top one, you're going to do the same thing. I suspect, right, it's only got top ones on one side of the axles, right? Am I remembering that correctly? I can't see my other sides. because the bottom ones keep them from going forward and back, and the top ones keep them from tipping. I think that's... Can I see it over here? I got the truck crammed in here so tight. Thank God it's big. Yeah. So there's only torque rods. If you've broken the top one, there's only torque rods up on the passenger side. You got bottom ones on both sides. So the top torque rod, I would do the exact same thing. I'd come back here to the trailer hitch, and then I would go forward to something up in the front. You're going to be a little more careful with your air lines back here, but it would serve the same purpose. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be difficult to get those chains tight. There's going to be a lot of stress and strain, and I don't know how bad your truck is twisted up right now. I'm running on the assumption it's probably twisted up pretty hard. But that is what I would do. Craig is cool. My man, that is what I would do if it were mine. If I had to emergency recover one of these things in the snow. Remember, if you're checking yours, you put a pry bar behind them, and you just, you don't want to rip it to shreds, but it should be good and tight. Additionally, if yours have come loose, or you're worried yours have come loose, get yourself a big round washer and drill and tap 2 holes. I don't know how hard this is. It's probably pretty hard. But drill and tap yourself 2 holes right here, and then you put your washer on, on a pair of grade 8 3/8 bolts, and you tighten it down. And then that way it can't slip off. And to be honest, until the rubber wore out, as long as you weren't getting rubber slop, as long as it had just devulcanized, heck, you could run like that for a long time. I don't know, the DOT would appreciate it, but mechanically you could run like that for a long time. I got some cracks forming in these, but I twist mine up a lot with what I do. So anyways, it sounds like your night sucks, and that what you've got ahead of you is a hell of a lot of work, and I wish you all the best, my man. But if it were mine, my official recommendation is don't even try to get them loose up there. You just get that bad girl home. And I believe that can be done with some come-alongs and some 3/8 chains and a pair of binders and some careful rigging. And don't worry about the axle going up and down. The chain will take care of that on itself. It's fine. You're very unlikely to have it move enough to loosen up your chains. You just sock that thing down nice and hard so she can't go forward, she can't go back, and you should be able to put some power to it. It's one man's opinion, but I can tell you that's exactly what I would do. I wish you all the best, and I hope this goes well for you. The size of the nuts, as measured on my front one, and they all appear to be the same, but as measured on my lower front one, was 2 1/4. Good luck, my man. I'd love pictures. I'd love communication when you're all done about how it went, what you ended up doing, the difficulties, the successes, because that sounds like a really crappy thing that several of us might someday be facing. And while it sucks to go first, you could blaze a trail for us. They can never break in July, can they?